Welcome back to the Common Sense Millionaire. Let me tell you something. I have had bad credit in the past, and that was a major impediment in what I was trying to do, both personally and from a business perspective. So, what can we do about that? It's a process, it's a trip. It's not always the smoothest trip, but it's something that we can all work through. At one point, I had a credit score of around 400, which is like pretty pitiful. And recently, the last time I checked, and I do check regularly to make sure that nothing crazy has changed, I'm at about 840. And I also have some business credit as well. So the most important thing when you're looking at business credit or trying to get it is you got to know your credit score. As you know, we've talked about the fear that we have of looking at things that we may think are bad, which they probably are, and not trying to take the time to figure out how to overcome that. So you've got to know your credit score, and not the one that the bank gives you or something that you go online and you put your name and information in and you get a score. Those scores don't count. You've got to go back and you've got to contact each one of the major credit bureaus and get them to give you the score and to also send you the most recent copy of your credit history. That is extremely important. So, why do I have to get all this paperwork? It's because if you have any bad issues that are reflected on those reports, you got to go in and fix it. If it's because you've got low balances that are owed, then you need to create a plan to manage those balances. Also, if you have items that are clearly wrong, you get a chance to fix those items. And just remember, the lower your outstanding balances are on those credit reports, the better your score is going to be. So that goes back to coming up with a plan to pay down the amount of outstanding debt that you have. So there are few ways to clear up those errors that you have identified on the credit report. First is going to be, and you're going to be tempted by this because you hear it on TV, you hear it on the radio, your best friend told you they went to one of those credit fix-it people. That's what I call them. They're credit fix-it people. And supposedly they're going to magically make all of these things disappear and go away, and your score is going to shoot up and you're going to be very happy. Most people aren't, I can tell you from my experience. Most of those credit fix-it people have no clue what they're doing, and they try to guarantee results that they cannot even make happen. But by that time, they've taken your money and you're done. What I recommend that people do, okay, is to get your report, write a letter, a personal letter from you indicating all of the errors that exist on your report, especially if you could have show proof that you paid off the debt in a timely manner, and it just shouldn't be there. I think that these companies respect and treat people as individuals better than the credit fix-it people, and so that's just an opinion, but I really think that's correct. So, because what you have to understand is if you want to get some kind of business credit, then you've got to have a good personal credit score. Because if you can't manage your own credit, why should somebody trust you to manage theirs? So, now let's talk about getting business credit. How would you do this? Where do you start? I always believe that you have to start with developing relationships. So find small local banks that are known for supporting businesses. Go and visit the people, get to know the people. Maybe you open a personal account there so that you have an account without them having to ask you to open one to get the credit. So open that account, go talk to them, figure out who are they funding. Maybe this bank only funds restaurants, or maybe they only fund I don't know, copy shops or coffee shops or something like that. If that's not what your business is, you want to try to find someone who's funding what you do. Okay. Another way is you can start with secured credit. That really helped me build my credit score much higher. And what that is, the secured credit is credit based on money that's already deposited in the bank account. So you may put $2,000 in the bank account, your credit limit is $2,000, so that no matter what, if you screw it up, they're going to get paid and your money is already there to make the payment. You can do that for a series of years, as I did. And periodically, I got an increase in the limit that I was able to spend. And that particular card helped me pay for graduate school. Another item is once you get your personal credit cleaned up and everything looks pretty clear and you've got it up to maybe the high 60s, 700 area, take a look at business credit cards from American Express. I receive no funds from American Express for saying this. However, American Express does not report business credit activity to the credit bureaus. Okay. So they will not report what your outstanding balance is to the credit bureau. They will also not report your outstanding credit limit at that particular time. All right. That's a great advantage because you get credit and it doesn't impact negatively your personal credit score. But remember, if you're going to try to get the American Express card, you got to have your game in gear. That means it's going to probably take you a little while later, but you want to get the game in gear. Okay. So no late payments, no serious errors or misuse of the card so anybody can question you. That's extremely important. The big the big one here is why how do you get a small business line of credit? Okay? Well, one thing is what you'll find if I use an example of Amex is that once you have that Amex card for a while, you're going to start getting offers in the mail about a business line of credit. And if your credit is strong, if you show that you have very good banking relationships without bounce checks or disputed credit charges, you might work out okay. But you have to remember that on that business line of credit, you should try at as often as possible to keep your outstanding balance at zero by making the payments on a monthly basis. This is important because it shows that you're using the line of credit to expand or enhance your business while at the same time you're generating the cash flow to make that payment to clear out the outstanding balance on a monthly basis. If you can do that, all that's going to happen is you're going to get more and more offers for higher amounts of money because you've developed a history of being able to manage that line of credit properly. Again, I recommend trying to focus on small local banks where you have developed or can develop a relationship with the banker so that he knows you or he or she knows you, and they can use that leverage to help you not just to get line of credit, but with other issues or services that the bank may offer. Finally, please do not be late or miss payments on any credit card or line of credit. If that occurs, your score is going to plummet and there's going to be a negative impact on you. Many people ask, what do you do when you have that line? I tell it for myself, it's available for use when something needs to be done and I just need some cash to get it done. So the biggest mistake that I see is people using business money for personal use. Okay. And if you do that in this situation, all you're going to do is to continue to damage your credit rating. And if you are working with that small local bank, you're going to destroy your reputation with that business.